Don Le Batard.
Tom Ricketts is saying that the Cubs will not allow Sammy Sosa back into that organization for anything moving forward until he comes clean. And what I find absurd about that, and what a hypocrite this guy is that family made hundreds of millions of dollars off the name Sammy Sosa. By the way, never tested positive for steroid use. And if he was using steroids, which we all assume that he was, my guess is if he was using it, the Ricketts family had an inkling that was going on in their own clubhouse. And for him to come out many, many years later and say Sammy Sosa must come clean for us to allow him back into our prestigious organization, our club, get out of here with that.
Stugotzs.
Yeah, Ricketts didn't make money off Sammy Sosa. He won the bid in 2009. This was post-Sammy Sosa.
Well, that ruins my argument.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotzs on ESPN Radio.
This should be interesting. I just heard Stugotzs thank Roy for all the tennis names.
Buckle up, Dan. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. I hate when the majors roll around. I really do. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save an average of $620. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Novak Djokovic, that was easy. The Joker was stunned in straight sets by Hyun Chung only hours after Tenny Sandgren upset number 5 Dominique Thiem at the Australian Open. Meanwhile, Roger Federer moves on to the quarterfinals to play Thomas Berdych, and Rafael Nadal will take on Marin Cilic.
Hot streak.
Whoa. And finally, according to the journal BMJ Case Reports, a 34-year-old described as previously fit and well attempted to stop a particularly forceful sneeze by pinching the nose and holding his mouth closed. Not long afterward, he noticed something was wrong. It hurt when he swallowed, and he observed a change of voice. What's more, his neck had swollen and, when he tried to move it, produced an unsettling popping and crackling sensation. As it turns out, his doctors noticed it too. Once he had been admitted to the emergency department, X-rays revealed the cause. Little streaks of air embedded in the soft tissue of his neck. In other words, by trying to suppress the full force of his sneeze, the man literally ruptured his throat. The air that sneeze would have blasted forth instead made its way into his soft tissue as tiny bubbles. That is frightening. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Do you hold your nose when you sneeze? Stugotzs, if you're just joining us, went to a flea market this weekend, sat down in a massage chair, looked up from his face, and he looked like Nathan Peterman running off of the field during that Colts Bills game in the snow. He had so much snot plastered to the front of his face, lacquered on the front of his face, congealed on the front of his face.
Do you like those chair massages? Do you like those things?
They're delightful.
Aren't they great?
Who doesn't like the chair massage?
Now, some people don't like them. They're not a big fan.
Put it on the poll. Do you like a good chair massage? Who doesn't like a good chair massage?
Mike Ryan, for one. Mike Ryan doesn't like massages, period. I mean, but the chair massage, because it's a little bit uncomfortable. It can be a little bit uncomfortable at times, right?
All right, we'll put it on the poll. We're going to get to Stugotz's weekend observations in a second. Mort has corrected me. When Mort writes in with a correction, I tend to pay attention. He says that what I said about Carson Wentz the last segment was wrong, and he's right. I was overstated. But what I mean about Carson Wentz is not that he hasn't been very good this year, that what he's been this year, I believe to be what Dak Prescott was when he was going 13-3 behind a team that I otherwise thought was overwhelming. So Carson Wentz has made a leap. He's been great this year. He was in the MVP conversation. All I'm saying is the Philadelphia Eagles ought not be in a Super Bowl where they're an underdog to anybody based on one of the few things I know in that sport this year is that team is good.
Right.
It's one of the very few things I can say with conviction. The Philadelphia Eagles are excellent. And I can say it with more conviction than I would even say it about the Patriots.
No doubt. Yeah, very talented team. They've done a good job putting it together. Wentz had 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions before he got injured.
But Dak had a similar type of season. Dak, when they were going 13-3, Dak was doing similar things. And I didn't think it was because of Dak. I thought it was because the team was that overwhelming. Regardless, let's get to Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugatz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Dan, the Jacksonville Jaguars are a defense away. can't be an all-time defense and give up that drive and that run to end the game. Hard to say a football game ever comes down to a single play. But the 3rd and 18 at the end of the first half by the Patriots that led to a touchdown is about as close as it gets. I hate them. Isaiah Thomas said defensively, the Cavaliers simply don't trust each other. No, Isaiah, it's just you they don't trust. IT2. More like IT too bad. He's the biggest offensive liability in the NBA. When asked about the possibility of Tyronn Lue getting let go, LeBron James said, I would hope not, and I really don't know. A, you do know, and B, you don't need to hope for something when you control its outcome. Chris Paul, do it in the postseason. Weekend golfers who wear pants on the golf course. You look ridiculous. Take them off. Todd Haley, Josh Allen, sideline argument, collision course. Danny Amendola finally starting to pay dividends. 55 seconds, 2 timeouts in the AFC Championship game, and you take a knee. Nothing will prove Chris Simms' point more than that. With that said, Doug Marrone, you are gutless. Congratulations. What happened there?
Oh, I mean, he was gutless. He does not trust his quarterback.
He preaches toughness to his team the entire year.
That's right.
And in the biggest moments, he shrinks.
That's right.
Displays no toughness.
That's right, Marrone.
Doug Marrone.
That's it, Doug Marrone. 55 seconds left. You march down that field with Blake Bortles.
Doug Moron.
Oh.
What happened there?
Exhibiting the behavior of a moron.
Thank you. Congratulations to Greg Olson, Benjamin Watson, and J.J. Watt for being finalists for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Greg Olson, Benjamin Watson. Spoiler alert, you're not winning. Actually, doing some more research on the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, it says here it celebrates excellence on and off the field. Allow me to rattle off all the on-field excellence J.J. Watt had this season. Enes Kanter. At the end of the day, he's still LeBron James. And you are Enes Kanter.
That's true.
Thank you. He even makes field goals exciting. Damn. Tony Romo, you are good. Barry Church, not helping polar bear conservation. Blake Bortles, tears from a man who knows he's made his last start as a Jacksonville Jaguar. I've seen some gross things on TV, but nothing will ever compare to the sight of seeing Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia hug. No Edelman, no Gronk, no problem. I hate them. Bill Belichick had no idea you were capable of that kind of emotion. Was it just me, or did it feel like Bill Belichick was saying goodbye? Bob Kraft, Bill Belichick, on stage embrace. Frosty, trying to decipher whether or not Gronk has a concussion. Has to be the toughest job in sports.
It's so true.
He got out. Wow.
The same thing. Whoa.
He got out. Wow.
Whoa.
He gave 2 wow.
Whoa. You got Red Bull.
NFL MVP, Tony Romo. If you combine quarterback play and broadcasting, I take Romo over Aikman. Going to be difficult for the Patriots to overcome the clear advantage the Eagles have at quarterback.
I'm still stuck with like one of Gronk's eyes pinwheeling, and you're like, what? It's normal. It's not. This isn't a concussion. Like one of his eyes is just pinwheeling, and like, yeah, this is Gronk. It's whether he's dancing to LMFAO or in the concussion protocol, one of his eyes pinwheel.
The way they know he has a concussion is he's more coherent.
That's right. That's right. Gronk is making sense.
Oh, man. If water gets all over the counter when you are washing silverware in the sink, then you have a bad sink. Abby, bad sink. Jaguar fans, I'm a Jets fan. I get to experience that 2 times a year. Jeffrey Lurie, congratulations on your second Super Bowl and for being the second most famous Clark University alum behind me. Nick made us all look like Foles, Super Foles. I'm sure the nice people of Minnesota are thrilled to be hosting all the nice people from Philadelphia and Boston.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Is there a worse confluence?
Dear God. I'm sorry, Minnesota. You almost had your home team in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Instead, you got Eagle fans and Patriots fans. Good luck with that.
Have fun. Go away for a week. Jay Ajayi, good things happen to those who leave the Dolphins. Congratulations. Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, making it to the Super Bowl with the Eagles has to sting. Grab the laminated Waffle House menu and go ahead and find your happy place. 15 yards is totally worth knocking out other teams' best players. Yep. Post-game press conference. Wow. Bill Belichick hates Tom Brady. Tom Brady, bad hair day. I wish Bill Belichick would stop doing the post-game pressers in those three-quarter sweatshirts. Too much upper arm hair. It's gross. Enough is enough. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, just like riding a bike, with Keyshawn Johnson inexplicably sitting on the handlebars. There's a good chance Doug Peterson just cracked open another beer. State Farm, if you were a good neighbor, you'd stop shoving Aaron Rodgers and Clay Matthews down my throat. Vikings, Eagles, snooze fest. Reason number 1 as to why every NFL team has hope in August. Nick Foles. The Eagles should trade Carson Wentz. The case is closed. Keenum is average. The heel turn. I pulled on Chris Sims on Sunday NFL Countdown, who's been nothing but good to me, and our show should send me straight to hell. And when I get there, I'll be sure to say hello to Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
Here comes the money.
What was terrible?
What I did to Sims, man, it was just...
What, you used
I had a
it?
weird experience watching it. I was thrilled that I had finally made it to NFL Countdown, and I wanted to reach inside the television and shut my own mouth.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted to. Weird. I was mean to him. But I looked great.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Should Doug Peterson coach the Super Bowl with a half-full can of Schlitz malt liquor in his hand? Yes or no?
Like, if he cracked a beer right now,
That's
you would
right.
not be surprised.
Right now.
Yes.
No, I feel like Doug Peterson should go everywhere. I feel like he should give all press conferences with a surgically attached Schlitz malt liquor can in his right hand.
Hi, this is Papi. Do you know that my TV show Highly Questionable is not only on ESPN2 every day at 4:30 Eastern, it is also available as a podcast. You can listen or subscribe to the Highly Questionable podcast on ESPN app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Don Le Batard.
Bill Belichick has told his players that despite the blizzard that's expected in the New England area, the Patriots will hold its final practices during its playoff bye week. No excuses for being late. Moron.
Stugotzs.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
no
Don't do
excuses for
that.
being
Dan,
late. I'm sorry.
If he needs it, you got to give it to him. He's helping Bill.
He is displaying behavior, that of a moron. That's all I'm saying. Save it. We're good. You kick, save, and abuse.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotzs on ESPN Radio.
I think ESPN needs to change the way that it covers the Patriots. Like, you should just have, after a Patriots game, several analysts on one channel weeping. Just weeping. Softly, like, and just yelling, how?
Yeah.
How? Rex Burkhead, how?
Yep.
How? You fumbled. Deion Lewis fumbled. Blake Bortles plays perfect. Jacksonville plays the perfect game, executes their game plan flawlessly. Their defense looks great. How? And then you look up and really, 3rd and 18 doesn't matter? All of a sudden, 3rd and 18 doesn't matter against Jacksonville. Also, as an added bonus, hey, look, there's Philip Dorsett. Haven't seen him since we traded Jacoby Brissett. There he is, catching a ball, of course.
Made the trade worth it. One play.
Unbelievable, man.
One play. I'm telling you, like that sequence, you talked about this earlier, where the Jaguars come out of a timeout and they complete a first down, which would have kept their momentum going.
Hold on. Jacksonville was up 14-3
Yes.
at the end of the first half. They've got the ball in the Patriots' territory. They could keep the ball for the rest of the half if they just convert this 3rd and 7. They convert the 3rd and 7. Blake Bortles does the thing that Tom Brady never does, which is he snapped at a hiccup late. They get a delay of game. They back him up. And, of course, the Patriots score on the last drive of the half to make it 14-10 because of bleeping course. Because go bleep yourselves!
It's that play. Delay a game and a 3rd and 18. Patriots win. It's so annoying.
It has to be the greatest thing that Patriot fans feel. That everyone's reaction is, how? Go bleep yourselves. You're cheating. I know you're cheating. How are you cheating? I know you are because you can't keep doing this.
They put some sort of substance on Brady's bandage right beneath the bandage. No, when they came back, Dan, I'm telling you, because I taped the game, I went back and looked at that. So I dissected it as closely as I could.
I did too, and I investigated it, and it was magic. They put magic on his hand. I saw him. There was a warlock of some sort. I saw him. Get Ted Wells to investigate the warlock that was on the sideline.
Why was the ref happy?
It was unbelievable. I'm sitting there. Oh, Jacksonville's winning. It's 2010. Next thing I know, Eye of Newt, bing, bang, boom. Jacksonville season's over.
The Patriots are Nick Foles away from a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. They're down. They're losing. They're clearly dead. It's over, right? It's over. Jacksonville's defense is great. There's no Gronk out there. How are they going to do it? How is it? Dorsett, where's he been?
One catch, 31 yards. The biggest catch of the year.
No, and then there's this other thing the Patriots have figured out. Like, we sit here and we talk so much about how you can get winning in the margins and where you can get your advantages. They're just like, are we really going to do this rule where I could just throw it 40 yards down the sidelines? You're going to give me all 40 of those yards because a defensive back just ran into a wide receiver, ran him out of bounds? You guys are going to keep giving me in a game where I can't get 10 yards. You guys are going to keep giving me 40 yards if I just throw a punt up over there on the left and let the defensive back just run into my fast wide receiver?
Let's run that play off.
Let's just keep running that play. That seems like a good play where I will get a lot of rewards for very little risk.
That's on the corner, though. He was trying to see too much, and when you try to see too much, you see nothing.
Let's see Louis Riddick's analysis of that particular play. This is why the Patriots are in the Super Bowl.
You can't play DB if you're looking at the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to see too much, you see nothing. Mm-hmm. You got to try and see a little bit, and you see everything.
Yeah, and what you see is that they always win. So I'm telling you, that Jags locker room after that game had to be the single most confused place in America.
Yes. We played the exact game we set out to play.
We did everything the coaches told us to. We knocked out Gronk. We weren't even supposed. We don't want anyone to know they told us that, but they said, yeah, any 15-yard penalty that knocks out Gronk, we're all good with it.
We were loose while our screws were tight.
Yes.
Bulls didn't throw an interception.
We did everything.
Jalen Ramsey flew home from Foxborough. We won, right, guys? Guys, we won. Yes? Why is everyone so sad?
Jalen Ramsey.
We're going to the Super Bowl. Why is no one on this plane celebrating?
Marone's breaking down Eagles film right now.
Yes, he is. Well, he's the reason they lost.
I mean, Jacksonville. You cowards.
It was so bad, man.
Exhibiting the behavior of cowards.
But we all get it. We all get why you were.
Yeah, you're scared of your own quarterback.
Doesn't stop us from calling you cowards, but we get it.
Guillermo, put it on the poll.
His quarterback was playing fine.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Which quarterback were the Jags more scared of at the end of the game yesterday?
Great question.
Tom Brady or Blake Bortles?
Don Le Batard.
Belichick! Liar!
Stugotzs.
Tom Brady's lying! Belichick's lying! Liar!
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotzs on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Chris Sims going to join us. He felt pretty good yesterday. Noon Eastern on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. James Patterson will join us at 12:30, my favorite author.
That is how we're celebrating the Patriots and another trip to the Super Bowl, by talking to the author of an Aaron Hernandez book that is out now.
They already hate us, man.
Yes, they do. And the feeling's mutual.
Oh, man. Here's your SportsCenter update. Novak Djokovic was stunned in straight sets by Hyun Chung only hours after Tennis Sangrin upset number 5 Dominic Thiem at the Australian Open. Meanwhile, Roger Federer moves on to the quarterfinals to play Thomas Berdych, and Rafael Nadal will take on Marin Cilic. And finally, a Maryland man was arrested following an hours-long standoff with law enforcement that police say began when a family member took a bite of his grilled cheese sandwich. Police say the man was eating with his wife and daughter and became angry when one of them took a bite of his sandwich, prompting him to fire a shot inside the house. The wife and daughter were able to safely leave the house, but the man barricaded himself inside. He surrendered peacefully shortly before 9 p.m. No one was injured. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
I have not looked at any of the numbers, but my guess would be that ratings for football yesterday were highest in the fourth quarter of Patriots, Jags. And I think what sweeps over America in that moment is husbands, maybe their wives aren't interested in sports, or wives, maybe their husbands aren't interested in sports. You open up the front door on whoever's gardening outside and you scream, "Honey, it's happening again. The Brady thing is happening again."
They run inside.
They're down, everybody, and you're just like telling your neighbors, guys, it's that thing. It's happening again. It's like a horror movie mist moving over your neighborhood.
Yes. My wife went the other way yesterday because she's so numb to it at this point, me being a Jet fan and seeing that 2 times a year, where I said to her, she didn't want to watch it. She just knew the outcome. I don't need to watch. I know what's going to happen.
Everyone knew the outcome. Everyone knew exactly what would happen there. But it was just fascinating to watch because of this reason, Stugotzs. There are very few things in sports like this. The Warriors a couple of years ago were this, where they're down 10 with a minute and a half left, and you know you are going to get a furnace blast of the best you've ever seen. Like, you're going to get desperation mixed with skill, mixed with look out. They don't want to lose. They're at their most desperate. Last felt it sort of like Michael Jordan's years, stripping Karl Malone late and all that stuff, where you're like, here they come again. Here they come. And yesterday, they're down 20-10, and they look constipated all game. Jacksonville runs everything they want to run, hide their quarterback, play a flawless game within their limitations. But in that last quarter, here was the difference in that football game. Neither team respected one of the quarterbacks, and both teams feared the other one. Like, both teams.
Yes. Right. No one fears Blake Bortles, and they absolutely respect and fear Tom Brady. Jackson, his own coach. He made it. Listen, if you want to dispute and argue with Chris Sims, do it all you want. But what you saw yesterday is what Chris Sims has been talking about for a while now. That Blake Bortles is holding that team back.
Jacksonville was terrified of its own quarterback, asking him to make any kind of play.
Right.
Terrified.
Yes.
And so it was just like a shell game all game. And then late in the game, you saw what Belichick did, where late in the game he just starts corner blitzing and Blake just throws it out of bounds because he's got no answers.
Correct.
But here's the thing that was happening to me. It's one thing for you to shout to your neighbors, "It's happening again. Here it comes." It's another thing entirely for Romo, who has a ton of fourth quarter comebacks, to be giddy in the booth because he's like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
Yes.
I want to see this great defense against this quarterback, and I know who's going to win.
Yep. It was, he is so good Brady is great at playing quarterback. Tony Romo is so good at calling football games. The excitement that it's like friends of mine sitting on a couch. That's the way we watch the game.
But to hear him that excited because he knew what was coming.
Of course.
And basically, we all had it this way, right? We all had Jacksonville coming down and getting the 23rd point so that the Patriots would win 24-23 on a touchdown.
He was bugging Nance yesterday. That catch that Amendola made where it was close to the ground and all you hear is Romo go, whoa, hey, I don't know. Nance is like, settle down. I didn't see anything in that replay.
Listen, it's the postseason. You got to step up, and he ratcheted up his performance. He did. I mean, he just trampled
There were a
Nance.
lot of hey-oh.
Yeah, but that's how you watch the game. I mean, when you're sitting in your living room, hey-oh, whoa, hey-oh.
Hey-oh.
I mean, it's amazing. He's fantastic at it. Best I've ever seen.
Stugotzs, 3rd and 18, you get an incompletion there. You end the game.
Or no delay of game on the drive before, and you probably end the game.
The Jags made 2 of the most imperceptible mistakes. I will say this, not since the first Super Bowl that Brady and Belichick won together have I seen them more surprised by a result. Not even last year when they came back from 28-3 in the Super Bowl did they seem as surprised to me as they were yesterday by the fact that they won that game that way.
The Seattle Super Bowl, when they didn't hand it to Marshawn Lynch and Butler made the interception. I mean, they stole that game.
You know what? Okay, let me amend that. Because, yes,
they did steal it.
When at the end you've won the Super Bowl on the last play, you're going to be that kind of surprised. What I'm saying...
Well, they were also surprised at the play call, too.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the Patriots were surprised to win at the end of yesterday. Once they'd seen the way the game played out and the way Jacksonville was doing everything that Jacksonville intended to do when it went in there, what felt like relief, what felt like at the end of that game, they business-like go into the Super Bowl because they've been there so many times. They seem to be relaxed, relieved, surprised.
That felt like their reaction, Patricia and Belichick and embracing and hugging and all of it. They seemed surprised and relieved and saying to themselves, how the heck did we get
my point, though, against Atlanta and Seattle, the Patriots went into that game feeling like they had the better team and they had a chance. And then the way that game played out, this particular game, the way it played out felt to me like the first Super Bowl where they're just sort of they were 17.5-point dogs,
right.
The Rams, and
Yes.
they're just hanging around. They're just sitting around there. And then at the end of the game, they can't believe that they just beat that team.
To put it kind of in perspective, because I thought Romo did a fantastic job. I wonder if you agree with this. He said what they had to do yesterday against that defense in particular was more daunting than coming back against the Falcons last year in the Super Bowl.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that because scoring 25 points in the last bit of a Super Bowl to erase a 28-3 lead against that Atlanta team, no, that's the most insurmountable thing I've seen them be able to mount. But this, yes, without Gronk,
right?
Without Gronk playing against that Jacksonville defense down 20-10, you should lose that game.
Part of the reason you're probably seeing a little bit more emotion, especially that Patricia hug with Belichick, is this kind of feels like a last ride for the offensive and defensive coordinators there. No matter what happens at the top with Belichick, Kraft, and Brady, they're going to be losing tenured coordinators in McDaniels and Patricia.
They're going to lose 3, perhaps. Fuentes, right? To Arizona. 3 assistants.
Patricia or McDaniel should stick around for that Patriots job.
They absolutely should, because Belichick's leaving. I mean, I'm the only one who noticed this. Well, clearly Chris did as well, but Belichick is gone. I mean, that felt like a goodbye. Thank you, Patriot fans. I'm out of here. And then Frosty with old Bob Kraft on the stage after the game. Woof. And you see Brady and Belichick barely made eye contact. It's over.
Do you think if you keep wishing this to be so, as you have for the last 7 years, that one day you're just going to be right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're rooting for. The math will eventually run out on that.
Yes.
This is a new twist on an old classic. He never had Belichick just straight up leaving.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. What ends first, Stugotz's ESPN career or the Patriots' reign?
Here comes the money.
Am I going to miss Tom Brady's Hall of Fame speech?
That's right. You're not even going to have a platform anymore. He's going to give his Hall of Fame speech from the Super Bowl MVP stage after winning his 20th Super Bowl at the age of 64.
Oh, man.
I love that stat so much that they put up all the quarterbacks on the screen in the playoffs. Bortles, 2 career playoff starts. Foles, 2 career playoff starts. Keenum, 1 career playoff start. And then just 5 Brady rings. He's got as many rings as you people have games that you played in.
I hate him.
This week, cheaters, liars, let's get them. They keep winning. We don't understand how it is.
And Boston fans, Patriot fans still get upset. Like, we're joking, man. We respect the hell out of that team, man. I mean, we really, oh, no. I was just going to do a whole thing where I'm praising the Patriots and, I respect them, but I don't.
There's no disputing their greatness.
Dan Le Batard.
I don't know anything.
Stugotzs.
I don't remember what I was going to talk about, so in those instances, what I have is a default that just makes fun of Stugotzs.
You're welcome.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotzs on ESPN Radio.
If I could give a fan base, any fan base, one thing above all others, not winning, let's put winning off to the side.
Brady?
But just one thing that I could give a fan base. Is there anything that your fan base would want more than what the Patriots have, which is this? At the end, we know we're coming, and you know we're coming. Where Jacksonville and Marone and Coughlin, and it doesn't matter. They're backpedaling. We're running the ball into the line. I don't know what to do. They're coming. You know they're coming. We lose. You win.
That's the thing I would take.
Like
that's the thing I would take.
The confidence of knowing.
The confidence of knowing.
Here
yes.
come our guys. They always have a chance. I don't care that it's 14-3. I don't care what the game's situation. I don't care that it's 28-3. Here come our guys, and everyone knows it, and everyone's afraid of it.
That's the thing that I would want most. That's the thing that I would take, because what I'm telling you, it's not just Patriot fans, it's not just Jaguar fans, it's me as a Jet fan, it's my wife.
It was everybody watching television yesterday knew the way that was going to go.
I'm texting my wife, 14-3 Jaguars, and her response is, don't care, Patriots will figure out a way to win. Yes, that's the thing I would want.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that, because in that you wrap in the coach, the front office, the quarterback. As a Browns fan, I have the exact opposite thing. I'm wondering the entire time, we're going to blow this. How are we going to do it? Here they come.
What a blessing, though, at the end of these close games that you've been there a million times and that the other guys know what they're dealing with.
Yes.
And so at the end of the half with 2 timeouts and 55 seconds, you're kneeling, and they would never do that.
Ever.
They would never do what you did at the end of the half. Just go in shriveled up cowardice. Jacksonville kicked the holy hell out of New England in that first half and went into that locker room scared because they allowed Brady something at the end of the half.
Nance asked Romo, hey, Tony, do you think the Patriots scored too early because there was 55 seconds left? And Romo kind of laughed because they knew the offense on the other side of the field. And Romo also went on to say, no, Jim, they want to get the ball back and score again if they can. If they can figure out a way to get the ball back.
That's right.
And score again.
They always want the ball. But
right.
The end of that game was playing out where, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do Fournette for 1 yard.
Yep.
You know we're going to run the ball. We know we're going to run the ball. We're not going to get anything on the run. We don't care. We're just trying to get to the end of the clock.
Yeah.
It's such a wimpy way of playing football. Tom Coughlin, military guy, with that team that was physically overwhelming. What a wimpy way to play offense. Just soaked in fear.
It was a terrible job by Doug Marrone. Why wouldn't you just let it fly? Just go against that team in particular.
Wait a minute.
But Mike, who cares? No one's expecting you to win with Blake Bortles.
Who cares? You're going to be ripping them because they decided to let it rip with Blake Bortles.
No, there are stops between letting it rip and at the end of the game. I'm talking about the last 7 minutes, Mike. You stopped coaching the way you were coaching all game.
You did. You played differently.
You stopped. The last 7 minutes of that game, Marrone, Coughlin, everyone shriveled up. It wasn't play action on first down to fool them. It wasn't their best play on 2nd and 9. No, they shriveled up. And I understand what you're saying. You got to fear your own quarterback. They did the best they could, making chicken salad out of chicken bleep. But the last 6 minutes of the game, with the game in hand, they stopped playing the way they were playing the first 44 minutes.
Jacksonville went into that game fearing 2 quarterbacks.
54 minutes, I should have said, I guess.
Jacksonville not only had to fear the opposing quarterback, they feared their own.
That's right. But at the end of the game, when you're up 20-10, and here come the Patriots, why are you not still playing the way that you were playing before? Why are you going 1st and 10, Fournette for a yard? You're just saying, man, tell me I'm wrong, Mike. Tell me that Jacksonville at the end of the game wasn't just staring at the clock the whole time.
But I think we do this thing too often, which is like, they got away from their game. No, they didn't. They were doing play action pass. How do you make an effective play action pass? By running the ball. That's what they were trying to do with Fournette. It just stopped working because Belichick took it away. They weren't doing the crossing patterns anymore.
Mike, he took away before the game. There wasn't going to be any Fournette beating them. They were doing 8-man boxes.
Right. And they had, exactly right.
Fournette was not going to beat them. The reason they got the lead is because using Fournette, they kept going to play action slants and nothing routes, the screens, these just incredibly easy passes. They tried to win a game hiding an NFL quarterback yesterday.
They had a 4th and 1, Mike, on the fourth quarter. This is what I'm talking about. 4th and 1 on the 42, fourth quarter. They decided to punt. Patriots got the ball back and scored a touchdown. Why not? I mean, that's what I'm saying when I say go for it. Against that team on the road, go for it and let Bortles just quarterback sneak or hand it to Fournette and try to get a first down.
I get it, but the coward thing, you know why? Because you have the best defense in the league and you have Blake Bortles as your quarterback. And that's why they did it. We understand why, but we're still going to call them cowards.
That's right.
Yep.
Which part of that are you not understanding? That is correct.